This is my actual annual Erev Tisha B'Av talk. Okay, the first part is very famous. We've done it a lot. I'm going to do a new twist to it a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of responsibility on you and a lot of responsibility on the men. How's that? So we're getting a yay on that? All right, here we go. Very, very quickly. First of all, understand we have 3 weeks of sorrow, right? We have the 3 weeks, you have everything up there, right? And Tisha B'Av. As we say in many, many, many times, that when a holiday occurs, it's not just a historical memory, it's a moment for the energy of that holiday that's in the air. I know that sounds supernatural, but I believe in it, which means, I'll give you an idea. Besser, we celebrate Cheirut, freedom. So the great Kabbalic rabbis say, if God forbid somebody is, I don't want to say the word suffering, has a challenge with emotional stress. Emotional stress is slavery. Somebody has a challenge with addiction. The time, and you can always pray, but a good time to pray, a good time to make an energetic move is Passover time, because that's energy. A good time for miracles would be the holiday of good. A good time for extra getting close to Hashem is Shabbat, which is Neshama Yitzhak. That's what we believe. So Tisha B'Av, girl, ladies, and yes, and girls automatically, you should be flattered on them. Well, coming from where I'm sitting, you're all girls. I meant age-wise, I didn't mean, yeah. Tisha B'Av and all the it's coming has an energy, and we do it every year. What is that energy that we should try to tap into? So it says here, beginning the 17th day of Tammuz, yada, yada, yada. Go where it says what? The Bnei Yisachar, which is a famous Kabbalic Hasidic rabbi, in describing the significance of the months of Tammuz and Av, writes that each of these months represent a specific power or sense in mankind. Tammuz represents the power of sight, vision, and the power of speech. Where is he getting this from? Basic. What was the first Tisha B'Av?
When they went to Eretz Israel.
There you go. Yeah, right. And the story of the glory. Excellent. Where'd you go to school? Okay. Yes. Did you guys know that? The very first Tisha B'Av. How sad is it that something that happened so many years ago affects us today? And there you have the pasuk on the bottom. The Meraglim came back and they said that we can't go into Eretz Israel. That was a big, big boo-boo. Vatisa kol ha'edah, and the entire community raised their voice and cried, says the Gemara. And all the congregation lifted, welcome back. What do you apologize? We missed you so much. Come sit.
Thanks, Rabbi.
Yeah, there's food there for you. Yeah, I know. We had that last time. We're not discussing that. And all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried. Rabbi said that the day was the eve of the 9th of Av, and on that day they wept a gratuitous weeping. I will establish that that day for them is a weeping. Do you know what that sounds like? I say it every year. It's a little sad to say that God speaks like that. Here comes a mommy line. You're crying for nothing? I'll give you something to cry for. That's what I'm saying. What b'chiyah l'chinam, b'chiyah l'dor. So since the original Tisha B'Av comes from the spies, we use that story big time today for the vision. I'm going to do this quickly because you're my honor class, so we're okay here. We're good. I've done this, but I want to do a twist, and I want you to share it with your whoever male people are. Here we go. Let's turn this in. But very quickly. These are the names of the men that we already mentioned. If you remember that one rabbi says he should have said women. There's a rabbi who says that, but we're not going to do that today. Who are they? Vayikra Moshe leHoshea. It's my favorite piece, guys. Binun Yehoshua. The guy's name was Hoshea, and now he's going to be called Yehoshua. So far, so good. Says Rashi, Hitpalel alav. Moshe made a special prayer before Yehoshua. Ya Yud Hashem Yoshiacha should save you from the atzad, from the bad advice or the bad thought process of the Menachem. Got it so far? Okay. Everybody knows, and now if you don't know it, look down. Everybody knows the famous midrash that doesn't make any sense. What is the famous midrash? If you don't know, just look at the next line. Says the midrash. See, he even says many of us are familiar. Many of us are familiar with the teaching of the rabbis that the letter Yud that was added to the name Hosea came from the name of our first matriarch. Who's the first matriarch?
Sarai.
Sarah originally was called what? Sarai. Moshe took the Yud that was dropped from her name and gave it to Hosea. If I teach this at my high school class, bring the boat, catch the eye. They're rolling. Right, Michelle? Really?
Hello.
Hi, how are you doing? Okay, I need.
Sarai was called Sarai. I got it. Right?
Mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Hey, came, and now you're running around looking for unemployment. Thanks to Biden, he's collecting $3,000 a month, right? And now we got a job for him. Oh, you nothing got. Boom. All right, does not make sense. There's a depth to this, and you are very important in this depth. Here we go. Sarah, first time we see that she makes a very important, actually one of the first times, other than the time that what? That she left, right? Then when she heard that she has a baby, the next big moment for Sarah, and again, and every week I tell you, there are hundreds of stories that are not written in the Torah. Years of years. You're going to tell me that Sarah and Abraham never had a conversation? I doubt it. I'm sure they had a conversation about what are we serving in the Hachnasat Orchim Hotel. I'm serious now. I'm sure he spoke to her constantly. This is the only conversation, almost. That is big. A lot of psukim, and you know the conversation. Here he goes. Oh, so let's just get the background. So Abraham marries another woman named Hagar. Whose idea was that? Sarah's idea, because Sarah and Abraham had no children. She had no concept she's going to have children. Am I going too fast? No. Yeah. And Hagar has a child called Ishmael, right? Let's thank Hagar for all the Arab nations that are here today. Thank you, Hagar. By the way, that is why when you go to Ma'arat HaMachpelah, you see all the Arabs praying, because Abraham is their grandfather. They come from the same guy we come from. Okay, fine. Hagar, and then she had the baby Yitzhak. Vater Sarah and Ben Hagar Mitzri. She sees Ashiyalda Abraham Mitzachek. She sees that Ishmael is not behaving nicely. Atomer Abraham. She says, Abraham, Garesh ha'amah hazot ve'et benah. Time to get rid of this woman and her child. Wow. What is the relationship between Abraham and Ishmael? Any idea? Very strong. Very strong. When the three Malachim came, the Gemara says, who did he send to get them down? Ishmael. Ishmael. Abraham is putting a tremendous amount of investment into Ishmael. And now his wife sits him down, right? Cup of coffee, and says, honey, kiss the kid. Now, do we know Abraham's reaction? Yes, we do. Not Midrash. Open Chumash. Vayome Elokim El Abraham. What does Hashem say to Abraham? Al Yeira be'einecha al hanar al hamatecha. What does that mean? Al Yeira.
Don't be upset.
Don't be upset. That means what? That he is upset. I'll be. Right? So obviously, you're talking about Sarah saying, this is what we're doing, right? We're moving out of Brooklyn and going to deal. And Abraham saying, no, we're not. We're staying in Brooklyn. There is this difference of opinion between Abraham and Sarah. Then, of course, everybody knows this. I always say, Vatomer, kol asher tomar lecha Sarah, shema bekolah. Terrible. You should take this line out.
No.
I marry Sarah.
That's fine.
Get it out. Says Rashi, shema bekolah. Lamadnu, shahaya Abraham tafel, inferior, l'Sarah b'neviut.
I didn't know that you didn't know.
I didn't know. Oh, I don't want you to think Nevi'ut means, right? Prophecy means God speaking. No. What does an Navi do in this? What's this Shabbat's name? No, Nachum was next week, honey. Shabbat Chazon. Why is it called Chazon? Chazon Yeshayahu, the vision of Yeshayahu. V'techezena einenu b'shuvcha l'Tzion. Vision. A prophet does vision. Sarah's vision was higher than Abraham, which means Sarah could see things beyond, right, deep, that Abraham can't see. Sarah knows that the Ishmael Yitzchak situation is not good. Abraham didn't see it. and Sarah's soul. Amazing. And God set Sarah's right. By the way, just for the record, because I don't know how much time I have. Fascinating. A little later is Yitzchak, okay? And it says that Abraham took, remember, he took two people with him to help. Eliezer and, is that sick? Ishmael. What's he doing? Cheating on his wife? What is that? So he can't be with Yitzchak. That doesn't mean I can't have a relationship. If he can't be in school, you threw him out. Good. So take him privately and learn him privately. You don't throw a kid out just because he can't be with another kid. It's a side show. Okay, let's move. Too many side shows. That was a good one. Which means, watch my thumb, that a woman potentially has the greater power of vision than a man does. That's what it says. Even Abraham. Now you understand what the yud means, girls? He didn't take the yud because it was hanging around. He gave him the blessing of a woman. You understand? God should give you the sight of Sarah. And that should be the bracha. That's a beautiful bracha. Can you imagine I go to Hasidic Rabbi and he says, God bless you, should be like your wife. That's going to be cool. But that's what he said. That's what he said. God bless you that you should be like Sarah. Because he needed vision. Want to see something cool? I don't know if that's Eshet Chayil. You guys know what Eshet Chayil is? It's a beautiful song that a man is supposed to be singing to his wife on Friday night. I don't want to mess up your shalom life. If you're thinking, what's he talking about? I don't know. Is it a Sephardic? It is. Okay. You guys know who wrote Eshet Chayil? Shlomo Mel. Comes from Mishnah. In it is a pasuk that is totally misunderstood. Ready? Darsha Semer. You guys see it? I don't know where it is. It says Darsha, I didn't write Mishnah, I should have written Mishnah. Darsha Semer, she seeks wool, upishtim, and flax, batas bechevetz kapeh, and she works as well with the hands. Okay. If you read this straight, what praise am I saying about my wife? A, great shopper. Oh, wow. She knows the sales online. Darshat Semer upishtim, she knows. What do you call that? AliExpress. She knows AliExpress. She knows what. No, am I off? Is that? Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know. I used to pay like $1,000 million. Yeah. Okay. She knows. Batas bechevetz kapeh. What a weaver! Wow. She makes a paracha like you've never seen. Okay. The truth is, why not? So now, says Rabbi Frank. Come on. Semer upishtim. Semer upishtim. What is that? Shabbos. And what's wrong with Shabbos? When Semer is together with pishtim, it's not a good thing. You have to what? You have to separate them. Oh, snap. A woman knows what has to be separated and what does not. The reference to Sabbath. It's beautiful. Much deeper than that. So far, so good. So that's the yud. Almost finished with this part. You're happy. It's nice women, no? They're happy, right? Okay. Why only Yehoshua and not Caleb? Why did he not pray for Caleb, the other Sadiq, who came out okay from there? Why Yehoshua and not Caleb? Come on, you should ask me that question. Who wasn't married? Oh, yeah. Oh, you read ahead. You must have been the flapper also.
She was like guilt-ridden. I don't know.
That was excellent. That was excellent. Who's Caleb married to? Miriam. He's got a Miriam to take care of him. He don't need no yuds. He's with Miriam. Caleb and Miriam. And who's married to Yoshua? How do you know?
He got married to.
Who did he marry? He married Rahab. From the story of Yericho. When did Yericho happen? When did that happen? After the Torah, after they crossed in Yehoshua. That means at this point he was a bachelor living in the Upper West Side. That's what he was doing. Say? I'm seeing. Here's the other question.
No, you're gonna complain that it's trying.
Don't ask good questions. Okay. Yeah. So at the bottom it says, he said that Caleb was a righteous wife. Yada yada. Okay. I'm done. What happened? No, they do mention it. Yeah. Only one that he gave you. Yeah. I'm done with this part. This was the first part that I want to do, but I want to make two observations, and I'm not trying to pander to women. I'm actually going to throw a responsibility on you. Which means you have a job. That doesn't mean men don't have a job.
You know, he reached what he could reach.
You have a job to tap into the right vision. And I will say, I'm sorry, this is for everybody. If we pollute our vision with stupidity, then that vision becomes polluted. If we spend, yesterday I was learning with some kids, right? And I call the phone out, don't worry, I call the phone out, right? So I said, the kid says to me, that's okay. The kid says to me, no, I said, you do, you worship it. I asked again, how many minutes did you pray today?
7.
No, that's 7, shocking, half hour, 40 minutes?
Right.
I said, you can look up what your average time is, right?
Time.
I said, look it up now, look it up right now. 4.3 hours, 4 hours and 32 minutes that day. Okay, if we get that whole day, the whole day. Okay, so it's the truth. I really want to tell you. It's my favorite thing, but okay, do what you guys want. But I'm just telling you, the women have that power. But now let's talk to the men. What should they be doing on Tisha B'Av? To start listening to your wife. No, I'm serious. That's what it says. I just said. Are you not agreeing that discussion is one of the deepest, most serious, most challenging discussion a husband and wife would have? No. That was a serious decision. It wasn't just chocolate or vanilla. It was taking a child that he brought up and asking them to leave, throwing a kid out of the yeshiva. It's not such a simple decision. Right there, it says it over there. Okay.
No, it's his child.
I understand, right? I'm just.
Not just the.
Correct. I see so much.
No, I know, you know what I mean?
No, okay. So one of the things we should work on is we as women, I mean, you as women, I'm just observing, we as women have to tap into our potential, and the men have to understand that the women have a certain color. Got it? Done. We're now moving to speech. Okay, new. I very much like at this time of the year to quote not just rabbis, 2 very famous people. One is called Yirmiyahu. He was not a Oprah, he was Jeremiah. Oh, wow, I just dated myself. Jeremiah was a Oprah.
Oh, I was in Syria.
She was in Syria. No Jeremiah in Syria. She was in Guatemala, who cares? By the way, I needed you. Almost every lady who works for the people at Twitter came from Guatemala.
Really?
I came from Guatemala, is working in the deal today.
Really?
Yeah, they told me Guatemala. I go, okay. I said, I have a friend from Guatemala. She said, really? Yeah. I said, very good friend. Yirmiyahu, ladies, he's a Navi. Who put the words in Yirmiyahu's mouth? Hashem. So this is God talking. A little bit of background. Great prophet Yirmiyahu lived about one of the most critical periods in Jewish history, saw the destruction of Yerushalayim. After his warnings and prophecies fell on deaf ears, catastrophe came, etc. And of course, he wrote the people in Eichon. Wrote them. Yirmiyahu was I felt bad for Yirmiyahu because it was very, very, very tough job. Like he was the rabbi who kept telling everybody they did bad, and like, you're gonna die, and they died. Okay, so that's tough. There are 4 psukim that I say always, and the truth is, and we read this weekend, by the way. It's not Eichon. We read it in the Haftorah. Are you ready? God talking. Vayidrechu et leshonam kashtam. Their tongues are bows and arrows. We'll get that. Gavrubar. Me'ra'a el ra'a. Okay, let's keep going. Gimel. Ish meve'ehu hishamer. Everyone beware of his neighbor. Al kol ach al tiftach. Do not trust any brother. Could be a sister. Ki kol ach akov Yaakov. That's a play on words. Understand?
Those are what that could do.
Right? Akov Yaakov. He tries to get the other person. They call Reya Rachil Yahalot. And every neighbor spreads slander. I'll get to Vav in a minute. Zion. The tongue is a deadly arrow. The Shonam Nirma. Yada, 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 yada. Anybody see a word about sniut in those 4 psukim? I Like every rabbi says, you're all getting killed because we're not. I don't see it.
I know one. He might also go to tutor.
Anybody see kosher or not? Halal Israel here? Anybody see? No. Anybody see? I don't know. Shabbat here? Please do not misrepresent me. Rabbi says Shabbat. I didn't say that. But the Churban is because we have little chats on our phone that say terrible things about that teacher that we don't like.
Get the coin.
That's a good thing. I didn't hop that. That I understand that they're teachers chats, class chats. Teachers, that's something everybody's bashing the teacher. So I'm just going to defend teachers because I'm a teacher. But that could be anywhere. It could be anywhere. It could be the teacher coming down to the lunchroom and letting out their frustration about the class that they just had for no good reason. I'm allowed to talk about my class if I'm going to get better. I'm allowed to talk about a kid if the kid's got to do something about it. You understand that? That's allowed. That's allowed because you're helping the person. But just to go downstairs and to say, oh my God, you know what just happened? Destruction of the victim. Right there. Backstabbing. Right there. Okay, I don't mean to scream. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. But this is not now. This is then, and this is still.
Not even got ready.
This is still not girls. It's even worse now.
He's doing the regular.
Because of the avodah zarah and all that. Much worse. Much worse.
You have to mute your phone.
Only call up your friend on the phone, and maybe you get a party line. 3 people heard the story today. 3 seconds. The entire world has not the story, the pictures of the story, the pictures, the movies. Put it online. Everybody's out. Okay, it's a bad thing. Okay. Thanks for coming to class. You're not coming next week, right? Next week. So again, no, don't turn the page. Don't turn the page. Don't turn the page. Does anybody know the 3 miracles that took place for the 40 years in the Debarim? One was for Moshe, one was for Miriam, and one was for Aaron. I'm ready. The water was
Mine, right?
that's Moshe. The water was Miriam. The man was Moshe, and Aaron the clay. So no, they didn't want the clothes. So that was some Chinese guy who was.
No, they didn't.
No, there was a guy. It's a Chinese guy. His name was Sosumi.
Wasn't it true that their clothing?
Yes, that's funny. That was it could be maybe on the
The water.
The water was they needed water for washing.
Yes.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? You know what else is in? You know what else? You know what else is great? You know what else? I feel bad. Half the community had no money. No shoes, same shoes. Nobody sold shoes. Can you imagine wearing the same shoes for 40 years? Neil DeMarcos. Does that do anything for anybody? Neil DeMarcos. Yay! I hit finger. Okay, let's go. So I heard something unbelievable. So we do Sukkot. To remember the name, right? It was the moment that he died, which is in Parashat Chukat.
He's dead.
And then he left.
It
It says Amalek, which is one of the nations, started to look to attack the Jewish people. What's the connection? What's Aaron famous for?
Yeah, she had been doing something there. And
when Aaron was alive and people were getting together better, they were protected. God protects us when we're good to each other. He doesn't allow outside things to happen. Aaron dies, that goes down. People's Ben Adam Chavero went down. Here comes Amalek. Over. Prove it best. Right now. So the Rabbi Yirmiyahu says it's a arrow. Next page. This is my favorite piece, but that was my other favorite piece. The Hassan Sofer, 1800, right? What does it say? Yes, there it is, 1809. French forces founded the city of Pressburg. That's where he was a rabbi. Cannon fire. The large community, Jewish community led by Hassan Sofer, Agon, Rav Moshe Sofer, spent their days and nights living in fear for their lives, and yet for the most part they remained unharmed. The most part, even their property escaped major damage. In his address, the Hassan Sofer, quote, who referred to 3 different averot as chitzim, concluding that these averot were therefore alluded to by the constant onslaught of cannon fire they were facing. The second of those averot was Lashon Hara, as the pasuk in Yirmiyahu, yada, 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 the words of Lashon Hara as a chetz. Therefore, he concluded his address and saying to them, you want to be strong, right? Stop the chitzim of averot, the Lashon Hara, and God will protect you from the cannonballs on the outside. There it is. You guys remember the Scuds? How long ago was that? Oh, God. 19?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember we left the radio on Friday night. I looked up the lap.
Yes.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I was here.
So, did you get out of Syria by then? Yeah.
The first George?
What?
Was the first George Bush, right?
I really don't know. Once Trump came, I don't know.
The Scots were 91.
91, we got it, babe. Book it. 1991. During the Scuds, they went to Rav and they said, "What should we do?" You know what he said? Stop speaking Lashon. That's what he said. He said, "Stop speaking Lashon. Be careful what you say, because we want to be protected by Hashem from the chitzim. Those are chitzim. These are chitzim." It's straight out of Navi, girls. We need that protection, and I have many, many other proofs, but I have many other pages. So let's. This. It's
No, it's great. It's perfect. Excellent. No, it's perfect.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's perfection. That's why I think even 20 minutes late.
Very good. Wow. Okay, here we go. Says the Rambam. Are you ready for this Rambam? Maimonides. Our sages said there are 3 sins for which retribution is exacted from a person in this world. Everybody knows that. I'm on page 4. The 3, or it says 9. The 3 sins that we're supposed to give up our life for. Girls, without even reading, what are the 3 sins we're supposed to give up our life for? Avodah zarah, shifichut damim, and gilui arayot. Everybody's familiar with that. Our sages, oh, no, I'm sorry, no. Idol worship, oh, it's right there. Forbidden sexual relations and murder. Ready? Lashon hara is equivalent to all of it. I have to stop you from this and explain that, because I have my own picture, so you like it. Lashon hara keneged kulam. Okay. That's a problem I have. You want to tell me Lashon hara is bad? I'm in. But come on. In this corner, we got Larry Lashon hara. In this corner, Max the murderer. Max the murderer is clearly worse than Larry Lashon. No. You think Lashon hara is worse than murder? Worse than murder? Oh, come on. Girls, I think I really put it into your head now. No, it's not worse than murder.
But it leads to all.
Oh, do not hush on me, please. No.
It makes you feel.
Yes. Definitely worse. Avodah zarah worse. Thank you so much. You know what the Rambam is saying? Lashon hara is truly the potential root. You don't get to murder unless you're a person who speaks about other people and gets angry. Can we look at the crazy shooters in the last couple of months? They spent months or years ranting on social media. Ranting! That's Lashon hara. Lashon hara doesn't only mean, right, that I say your feet smell. Lashon hara means I'm bashing you. You bash, you're bitten at you. A person bashes, yeah, it'll lead to murder. Oh yeah, it's going to lead to murder. Not everybody is going to lead to murder. It doesn't mean if you say, oh my gosh, I can't believe the dress you wore, you're going to go and stab her the next day in the store. I didn't say that. But the root of that is Lashon hara. Gilui Arayot, without spending a lot of time, we had that last week or 2 weeks ago, and somebody said it's okay. Remember that?
What's okay?
No. That was very funny. Okay, whatever. Yeah. See?
Lori's switching.
Go on vacation. You miss it all. That's your business. I'm sorry, you missed it.
Okay.
Clearly, the root of Gilui Arayot begins with speech. You disagree? I disagree with you. You talk inappropriate, you end up inappropriate. That's it. You lower the bar, you talk things, not you, girls, I don't mean you, you're me. A person flirts with somebody they're not supposed to flirt with. That's how you stop things. How do you get to there? Because you flirt, because you say things. You say things that are inappropriate. Exactly. I agree. That's like, again, do you remember? Never mind. Do you understand? That's Lashon hara. We think Lashon hara is only that one example of saying something negative. No, that's Lashon hara, right? I'm using my tongue for things that are inappropriate. What about Avodah zarah? Avodah zarah is the highest and the strongest. I'll give you 2 reasons. First, the Rambam says it, and then I want to say it. Right? So that's what I mean by the way. Just go back. That's keneged. Yachab keneged. which means the actual Avera is not like that. Connected means at least. Very nice. Yeah, here we go. Anyone who speaks, you might roll your eyes to this. I didn't write this. Rabbi. Anyone who speaks Lashon Hara is like one who denies God. Because the Pasuk says in Tehillim, with our tongues we will prevail, our lips our own. Who is the Lord? Which means the Rambam claims, we could disagree, that if I'm walking around, right, saying whatever I want, what am I basically saying? God doesn't know what I'm saying. Because if I actually believe that God hears what I'm saying, how can I say it? So the Rambam claims that Lashon Hara leads to not believing that God knows what's going on in the world. Crazy girls. And that's why Yirmiyahu said it's so bad. I want to do my own. You ready? Look at the blue box. Vayivra Elokim et ha'adam b'tzalmo b'tselem Elokim bara oto. Hashem created the human with tselem Elokim. Girls, tselem is an image. An image, right? Reflection. Tzilum is a photography, right? Tselem, matzlema. Every one of you and I have an image of God in us. That's a fact. That's a fact. No matter who that person is, whether he's mentally ill or whether he's physically ill or wherever he is, that human has a piece of God. So I want to claim that if I'm bashing that person, I am bashing God. So unbelievable. Unbelievable. There's a pasuk in Debarim says crazy. I'm sorry, it's a little off. It says that God forbid somebody had to be killed by Beitin, God forbid, and had to be hung, God forbid. You have to take the body over.
Once they die,
Yeah.
the second they turn over.
Why? It says Rashi, it says because it looks like God. It had a piece of God in it. You have to have a couple. It's a piece of God. So he had to die. I feel bad, but he's still a piece of God. So you have to give it whatever respect you can. And we have to remember that. You have to tell our children that child that you're talking about has a mother and a father and a God. That's a child of God. God created that child. You don't like that child? Too bad. Go back to your room and play your video games. Meditation. But how dare we speak about a child of God? And that's what that's on. Should I keep screaming? Causes. Okay. Michelle, this part, you want to say it? Let's talk about causes. So if it's so bad, girls, if it's so bad, so why do people do it? So again, we go back very quickly to the Miraglim. This is such an insight by Rabbi Dr. Twersky. Dr. Twersky? Not alive anymore. This is very special. Can I tell you something crazy that Dr. Twersky said that really affected me? And it's a little embarrassing, but here it goes. He was an amazing, in the 70s, he opened the first rehab. He's a Hasidic man. Real Hasidic. Of course, he was the first guy in Milwaukee to open a dictionary for Jewish people. Twersky, famous. He was a PhD. It's brilliant. Guys, tons of books. Go to iTunes, get tons of books from Twersky. Whatever. Twersky gave a class that I heard on Torah anytime. He said that he was working so hard. His family said, "Yeah, take a vacation." So they told him to go. I don't know if it's Sharon Springs, one of those places, the mineral areas. So he finally got there. He's unpacked, and they gave him an appointment in the whatever it was, jacuzzi, whatever it is over there. He says he comes in there. He gave away his books, right? He's gonna go in like that. Comes in. The guy closes his door. He goes, "I'll come back in a half hour." He said it was the worst half hour of his life because he had to be with himself. He had to start thinking about himself. He wasn't given a class like I'm doing now. He wasn't driving 80 hours like I do. He was just sitting there alone. And he said that was very scary. This is Twersky. Okay, so let's keep going. Yeah. All right. So Twersky says the therapist is coming after the class. Anybody who's interested, we have a free hour. Early bird special. Oh, Thursday night. What are you guys doing Thursday night? Right, there's a big class this Thursday night. No. I want to explain. Why. And of course it's for you. So how am I? No, only in immaturity. We do this because we want to do achdut. That's what that's really what it's about. We do it every year, and it's the new house, Seymour Smell with Robin.
Oh, yeah, I read about that, but I thought it was for the youth.
You're a youth, man.
Oh, thank you.
If you come, it's no charge. First of all, let me give you the main reason to come. Dinner's at 8 o'clock. Free food, and it's 9 o'clock is the class. We just want like people. It's Edit to Shabbat.
What's the address?
1026.
26.
1026 Ocean. Valet parking.
Dinner.
Dinner. All right. Okay, here we go. Says Rabbi Tversky very quickly. Moshe sends the spies into Canaan. And he says on the bottom of 4, Uri item et haaretz mahi. Check out the people. Check out what kind of land is it? Are they strong people or are they weak people? How can you tell if they're strong or weak? Let's turn the page. Really, how can you tell if they're strong? I love it, right? Says, where's my page? Says Rashi. Did I miss something? Says Rashi. Oh, there on top of 5. Right? Umasal lahem. Siman. Im viprazin yoshvin. If they don't have walls, they're strong. If they have walls, they're weak. I can't say any more about what happens in your life and in your children's life. The moment somebody's weak, they do this. I don't want this person in my center. Why not? I don't want them to think that I'm associated with that person. Really? You're so afraid of your friends? You heard somebody else because you're afraid of your friends? I can't invite them to my birthday party, but everybody else is invited. You know what it means not to invite a girl to everybody who's coming to a birthday party? Girls, you know what that means? And you ask the person, how can you do that? I have to. I'm so nervous. I go, I can't include that. I can't include that person.
No, the only way you could do it is if you build a wall, because then you don't feel bad.
You build the wall, you don't feel bad, and you
I've
build
had
the
mothers
wall.
all the time to defend their daughters that have done these things.
You're defending the
The
daughters?
mother's like, what do you want me to do? And she just
Oh,
goes,
right.
no, you know what I told her? Well, that's what you
No, but if it's,
can't
no,
invite
but
her.
what we have to teach our children is there's a weakness when we exclude other people because
We are insecure.
That's it. Bingo. That's it. Anybody who's very secure, right, is open. You know what I love? I met, this is not for now, I'll do this Thursday night. I don't know if you interact with Hasidic guys. You know what I love about Chabad? They are so confident in themselves that they're not afraid of anybody.
No, but and their religion.
No,
is so
I know, I understand.
beyond.
Yeah, but they're not afraid of anybody. Oh, you have 40 piercings. No, come on in. I'll show you how to do another one. You know, they're like, no, this is what the Rebbe put in them. The Rebbe put in them confidence that I'm okay. Why? Because they're okay. Because they're okay.
Will waver that.
Right. They're okay. They're strong enough to be okay. Okay, so that's the one. The other one is unbelievable. A simple word in the Torah. Same story. V'sham da'inu et hanefilim b'nei anak min hanefilim. So the Meraglim said, we saw giants. Please catch this, girls. You see me? You know where I am? Lamed Gimel, on top of the 11. V'nehi be'einenu kachagavim. V'chein hayinu b'neihem. Tell me what that means. What does that mean? We were grasshoppers.
In our eyes.
Oh, it should be in what? In their eyes. Torah says so. They felt like grasshoppers. Therefore, they think other people think they're grasshoppers. Oh, well. I walk into a room and I think I'm a nothing. Everybody will think I'm a nothing. I've got the confidence. I'm a something. These are the reasons. Low self-esteem. I want to move on. No, but it's important. So if you want to talk about what's the most important a parent could do for a child, and it's hard. It's hard. I have to tell you, if you have to, everything's fine. Just the candy is about to finish. So. Having a child coming after another child, if the first child is a superstar and the next child is not, is one of the most challenging things for a parent to have. And good luck. It's good luck. We had it. And I think they turned out okay. We had it,
Sometimes they look up to the next one.
usually not. Now they do. The oldest one is 41, the other one is 38. They do very well together. We had an oldest child, we had an oldest child. He's brilliant. And by the way, it's because he's afraid. You should see. She's very careful what she ate first pregnancy, you know? It was like crazy. Yeah. Got 100 on every region he ever took. The only region he didn't get 100 is on the bio region because he refused to answer the evolution questions. He's a principal of the school. He's a Talmid Chacham. He's writing tons of things. And then his two brothers have to come into it. In the same school, in the same teachers. Not easy, girls. Not easy.
Did you acknowledge that to them when they were younger?
Yeah, we tried.
Because that's the
Yeah,
reality.
okay. No, I'm just saying, that's a job. The low self-esteem is the root of many things, and we have to try. By the way, at a certain point in their life, you can't, like make believe, like you know. Wow, you picked up the fork! Oh, very, very insulting. Okay, let's get real. Okay, all right, we did that. That's a lot of things today. All right, 5 more minutes. We're good.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a date there. Okay, here we go. I'm going to just point this out. I'm not going to actually read it tonight for my ladies' class, girls' class, your ladies' day. Girls. I am going to read it. They read it every year. I'll give it to you if you want. But there's a word in the Navi that should scare you. I'm serious now. So if you weren't scared till then, now you're going to get scared. We go back to page 5. No. Back to where is it? Back to page 3.
Great.
Boy, this is going to be hard. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Lachen. So Bet and Gimel took the time to tell us that we're not sensitive to other people. Correct? Yes. Vav. Lachen. Therefore, Kol Amar Hashem Tzivaot. He's quoting God. Girls, I can't get better than this. Hineni Tzorfam Uvechanti. I will refine them and test them.
Heat, right?
Yes, I'm not going to read it because I always say. I would say the concept. Listen to me carefully, guys. This is very, very serious. Do you remember the story with the guy on the roof with the coins?
No.
Oh, good. So say it down. So it was a businessman who had a tremendous job meeting in the city, and he needed some air. So he goes up to the roof, and he goes up. He's breathing nice. He comes back, can't open the door. Can't open the door, but his phone is there. What's he doing? So he goes to the edge of the roof and he says, "Okay, I gotta get hello." It's like 40. Hello. He looks into his pocket. He has a couple of coins. Great. So he drops a quarter or whatever he drops down, flies all the way down. He sees it, comes to the floor. The guy sees the quarter, he picks it up and walks away. He goes, another one. The guy picks it up and walks away. He ran out of coins. So he says, I don't know. So he goes around and he sees a rock. Takes the rock, throws it down, hits a guy on the head. The guy goes, what the hey? Sometimes God has to throw a rock to get out. Sorry. It's not punishment. I need to burn them a little bit. I need to sensitize them a little bit. Which means sometimes maybe we need to go through a challenge to get a little more sensitive to other people. And it's not a punishment. Hashem is helping us. I got to do something to make you wake up. What do you do when somebody's hysterical? What do? You smack them across the face. Why? Because you got to get them back to reality. I'm sorry, girls. That's what it says. Lachen. Therefore, I have to do this. I'm going to prove it. Back to page 5. Okay, I'm trying. I'm really trying. I'm trying. Okay. Back to page 5. The middle of the page. What was one of the most difficult times for the Jewish people? Early history. Earliest history. the first difficult time for Jewish people. Slavery in Mitzrayim. Now, I'm not going to say this is why God did it. Look what it says. Ger lo tonet. Rashi. Oh, na'at dvarim. Do not taunt a stranger. A stranger doesn't mean a ger necessarily who's coming in to become a ger. A ger is somebody who came from Syria. A ger is a kid who came to school in the 7th grade from Israel. A kid who came in from Russia. He's a ger. He's new. Doesn't know what's going on. Don't taunt him. Doesn't say hit him. Taunt him. Don't have verbal abuse to somebody who feels uncomfortable. Right? Ki, look what God says. Ki gerim hayitem be'eretz Mitzrayim. You know what it feels like. You know what it feels like. God sometimes says to us, you see what just happened? Now you know what it feels like. Don't do it to somebody else. Racist stuff. Etc. He says it very famously. You know what that means? People in glass houses should throw stones. You know what it feels like, which means basically, if we go through a certain experience, girls, we should remember that experience. It should teach us to have empathy. Empathy. Don't waste the experience. God forbid, I didn't tell you. It's just, I heard, and you're going to think it's silly. I just read this over the mamash this weekend. Somebody became a woman, lost her husband, whatever. So the Rabbi before Pesach put an envelope, gave it to his grandson, give it to the lady. He didn't ask. She got the money. She understood it. First day Chol Moed, he gives an envelope to his grandson. He says, "Go give it to the lady." He had a little bit of chutzpah to say, but you already gave. He goes, "You don't tell me what to do. You do what I tell you." Kid goes, and the flat was open. You know what was in it? 7 tickets to the zoo. Feel. What does a mother need? She needs a Chol Moed trip. Who doesn't need a Chol Moed trip? But you see the difference there? That needs feeling, that sensitivity, understanding what the other person needs. That's a use. I think I have to tell the joke. All right, I'm really sorry for this. Okay, there's more, but I think I've dashed enough today. No, but girls, we have to, okay, I'm going to end with something not funny, but funny, okay? All right, we can't just let this go. Last year, okay, two things. Ready? The first one, very famous. It's funny. Rabbi is in Yom Kippur, you know this one. I say, okay, Rabbi is in Yom Kippur, he's giving a drasha, and he says at the end of the drasha, please do musad, be better. Everybody, every member of the shul is not going to make it. You're going to pass away one day. You're going to die one day, right? Everybody's like crying. Guy in the third row is laughing his head off. So Rabbi goes, oh, maybe he didn't hear me, right? He talks again, and he ends. He goes, every member in the shul is going to die one day. Please do teshuvah. The guy's cracking up. So after the speech, he goes over to the guy and he goes, did you hear what I said? He goes, yeah. He goes, why are you laughing? He goes, I'm not a member of the shul. I pray down the street.